What up, people? Welcome back to the MySpace Effect, building influence and impact. Let me fix my mic. How am I looking? Yeah, thank you. I'm your host, Herschel Peters. Oh yeah, we back talking about leadership, life, and the spaces in between. With Valentine's Day coming up, there's a lot of noise about love right now. Flowers, dates, posts, performances. But there's a lot of conversation we don't really have, especially this time of the year. Because some of the most loneliest people aren't single. They're in relationship, they're connected, but they're not covered. Some talk every day, some spend time together, they share spaces, but when that pressure builds up, when it shows up, and when life gets heavy, when decisions have to be made, they're still carrying everything alone. So today's conversation, I want to talk about lonely in love when connection doesn't equal coverage. Connection gives access, but it's coverage that gives safety. And if pressure reveals absence, that's not love. Really, it's liability. Let's get to it.
This is the MySpace Effect, where identity meets influence, depth over distraction, and becoming who you're called to be outweighs chasing attention. Hosted by Herschel M. Peters. Let's get into it.
Valentine's Day, I didn't see a lot of them. But one thing that I've learned in life is that Valentine's Day exposes emotional gaps. A lot of lonely people aren't single. They're just unsupported. And the tension in that really has much to do with being close to someone but still, at the same token, carrying everything alone. That's really that tension. Oh, I know I'm talking good. I know I'm talking good today. Huh? Some of the most loneliest people I know aren't single. They're partnered, but again, uncovered. Uncovered. So before I get ahead of myself, let me give the distinction between connection and coverage. Because there's some illusion out there, and we need to pop it with some clarity. What healthy connection looks like is communication. Effective communication, I might add. Chemistry. Time spent. Shared moments. You really enjoy each other. There is a harmony, a synergy that's there. But when you got coverage, it's consistency under pressure. It's emotional protection. Like, hold up, you all right? If you ain't good, I ain't good, huh? And most importantly, which is really an issue in so many different relationships right now, accountability. And here's a kicker: advocacy when you're not present. See, access without accountability is dangerous. And many of us, we confuse the two, but I'm going to tell you why that happens. This is not blame. This is really more so about self-awareness. We tend to confuse attention with intention. Some of us make the mistake of closeness for commitment, that is proximity. And here's a big thing right now. Social media validates connection, but it hides coverage. So the question is, who do you call when it's heavy? Not when it's just fun. Lonely in love is what I want to talk about tonight. It can really exemplify loneliness in the sense of singleness or loneliness in a relationship. This episode is rated E for everyone, huh? But that is my emotional core. That's really what I want to talk about tonight. At my core, I want to really just deal with things that people feel but don't necessarily say. Some have a hard time verbalizing. I want to help with that. Some of the things people deal with is being emotionally alone while partnered. Yeah, that is, I've been there. That is like They having a honky dory time. I'm just looking upside your head like, Negro. You carrying stress and decisions. And then at the same token, you fear being solo. Here's another capacity of it. The fear of unmet expectations. Yeah, that's huge. Loneliness hurts more when someone is sitting next to you. That's a tough situation to be in. To be married, to be in a relationship, to be dating somebody, and next thing you know, you just sitting there just like, really? A lot of leaders struggle with this. This is why the MySpace Effect exists, to really help us leaders in every capacity possible. High capacity people typically normalize the imbalance because there's a habit and tendencies when you're leading. Sometimes leaders overfunction relationally. You do too much. Again, it goes back to habits and tendencies. Sometimes being a leader, so many things can be so ingrained in you. That ability to give, that being that type of giver, really attracts consumers. See, strong people don't attract better love. If anything, they attract more need. That's something I had to learn in life. Like, I found myself attracting women that needed an anchor. You in transition in life, you're not really stable. You don't know what communication look like. You in between stuff, making the decision, and then some of them just low down. You know how to communicate when you want to. You just ain't worth a damn. So it could be a catch-22. You got to really discern that stuff. But I've seen it. They enjoy the coverage. But no. I'm just meeting a need. I got some needs too, huh? But yeah, typically strong people, they don't attract better love. They really attract more need. I mean, needy people come from everywhere. I need it. And that's why so much people be heartbroken and jacked, because you find out I'm just being used. It's conditional. It's what you can do for me. I'll do enough to just keep getting what I want. That's not everybody. It's a big portion of it, a big potion of it, huh? But I want to reset the standard regarding what real coverage looks like. This is how you know you got real coverage in life, not just connection. You have consistency, not convenience. You have protection, not possession. Here's a big one. You have responsibility, not access. And one of the ways of being able to discover this is by asking oneself, who protects your name when you're not in the room? Who protects your name when you're not in the room? I want to do somewhat of a Valentine's Day reframe, how we view this, how to help each other out. Especially those that this episode is really popping upside the head, because it's knocking me out too. But instead of asking, why don't I have someone? Ask yourself, am I covered where I'm connected? I'll be honest with you. One thing I've learned in life, it is better to be alone than to be emotionally exposed. That is not a good feeling. Vulnerable, just exposed, no coverage. No coverage. That's tough. That's tough. I want to leave you with this thought. Being connected to someone doesn't automatically mean that you're supported by them. It doesn't mean that. And being chosen doesn't always mean you're protected. So this week, with Valentine's Day just around the corner, I hope you don't ask yourself why I don't have someone. Ask that question once again. Am I covered where I'm connected? Because love shouldn't leave you exposed. It shouldn't feel like emotional survival. And it definitely shouldn't require you to abandon yourself just to keep access. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is raise the standard, not lower it. Think about it. So if this episode has resonated with you, share it with someone who needs language for what they've been feeling but could not articulate and explain. And if you're building your life, your leadership, and your relationship with intention, this is your space. This is the MySpace Effect. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
If this added value, share it. If it challenged you, sit with it. And remember, the assignment is you.